Hello and welcome back to Automatic Mouth. Today I'm going to talk about protecting your energy and the reason that negativity drains you and how we can rewire our mind without that toxic positivity stuff. Okay? Because do you find that sometimes when you spend time around certain people or certain groups that you just leave feeling absolutely smashed? I want to talk about that, why it happens, and how we can overcome that. So it's going straight for the jugular, to be honest, of modern burnout culture. Because half of what drains your energy, it's not your job, it's not your family, it's not deadlines, it's the mental diet that you feed your brain. And again, no, I'm not just going to tell you to think positive. It's not about toxic positivity here. I want to unpack why venting feels good, even when it costs you, why negativity spreads like a cold, the neuroscience behind that energy drainage, how to protect yourself, and how to shift your mindset, like for real. Okay. So let's start with why negativity hits harder than you actually think it does. So let's start with your brain's drama queen, the amygdala. Now, very basically, again, I'm not claiming to be a neuroscientist or an expert on the brain or anything like that. So please take the way I explain things in the manner to which I'm giving them to you. Okay. The amygdala is about spotting threats. The amygdala keeps you alive. It's your little alarm center. However, it overreacts constantly. So when you complain or you listen to complaining, the amygdala, it lights up like it's detecting, a real threat in your kitchen, even when you've just opened the fridge and you're just annoyed because someone finished the milk and there's no milk left. The amygdala doesn't know the difference. It will light up and send a signal that says danger, pay attention, prepare for threat. Okay. Now, when that happens, what that cues is cortisol, which is the stress hormone. Now, cortisol isn't bad. Cortisol wakes you up, helps you react, gets you through scary stuff. But when you bathe your brain in cortisol over and over and over, chronic cortisol hits and it affects different parts of your brain, like your hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and learning. That can become really sluggish. Your prefrontal cortex, which is your decision-making center, that can go offline, check out, and the amygdala becomes even more reactive, even more alert. Yeah. So suddenly your world can feel heavier, harder, more dangerous, and not because it actually is, because your brain is being chemically primed to see it that way. So that's why negativity can leave you feeling exhausted, foggy, less capable, unsure, for all these reasons. And here's the kicker. Your brain mimics what it hears. We have these amazing little things in our brains called mirror neurons, and they activate even if you're not the one complaining. So this is why, like, one chronic complainer in the room can drain everyone in the room and bring the whole vibe down. Have you ever been in that situation where it seemed like everything was going good and then one person walked in and started talking or whatever and the vibe just changed? Things went downhill real quick. Our mirror neurons are doing that. It's amazing stuff. Your nervous system literally starts copying theirs. So let's move on to why venting feels good. Because it does, right? Here's why though. We're going to talk about dopamine, not the pleasure dopamine, which is often what it's connected with. I'm talking about motivation, attention, relief dopamine. So when you vent and someone listens to you venting, your brain goes, okay, important event, attention has been received, pressure has been released. So dopamine flags that experience as this matters, relief was achieved, let's do that again. It's the same cycle behind things like ruminating, which is those repetitive thoughts, oversharing, rage texting, trauma bonding. The reward that we get from it, it doesn't mean it's good or that it's healthy for us. It means it's being tagged as meaningful to us. And so this is why venting gives a temporary release. However, you end up with long-term emotional hangovers. And it's also why some people get addicted to the drama. The dopamine of being heard, being seen, it becomes their coping mechanism. You can see how that can end up being unhealthy. So I'm going to talk about now the endogenous opioid system, because that's also what comes into play here. Bear with me. It's a big fancy name. It's got a very simple job. Okay. It's your brain's built-in pain relief and social connection system. It's like an internal Panadol and a warm hug. When you feel supported, validated, connected, understood, your endogenous opioid system activates. And so this is why venting feels soothing. The minute someone says, oh my God, I totally get that, I totally get where you're coming from, you immediately can get stress relief, social bonding, emotional soothing. But it's without actual problem solving. And that's the problem, because this becomes then the equivalent of feel better, nothing's changed. And so then the cycle resets. Rinse, complain, get relief, repeat. Rinse, complain, relief, repeat. And we keep doing that cycle. How do we protect our energy so that we don't get burnt out? Burnout isn't just about a workload. It's the emotional load that I'm talking about. Constantly activated stress circuits that never get reset. So here's a few steps that I want to go through to protect your bandwidth. Number one is I want you to audit your input diet. Your brain becomes what you feed it. So take the time to ask yourself, what drains me? What content leaves me feeling stressed? Who constantly vents without ever changing their behavior? What do I listen to daily that affects my energy? That's the first one. The second one is instead of absorbing, I want you to observe. When someone complains, instead of sponging it up and getting sucked into their vortex, try asking some questions as part of the observation. What's the actual problem you want to solve? It's a powerful question. Another great question to kind of put that boundary up is, okay, do you want empathy or solutions? It's an instant boundary and you've stayed out of the drama. It really helps you to keep your energy safe and strong. The third one is replacing venting with processing. Because venting is really, it's emotional dumping. Whereas processing is emotional direction. So what does it sound like? What's the difference? Processing sounds like I felt this when that happened. This is the belief underneath it. Here's what I actually want. My next step is. It's a completely different conversation. It's a completely different impact on the nervous system. It's separating getting the emotional drama from actual processes that are happening in your mind and in your body. I felt like this when that happened. I trust this is making sense. It's also when you talk about things like, here's what I actually want, or my next step, what I'm going to do is this. That's taking action as well. So again, you're not emotionally dumping. You're taking action and giving your mind and your body something to work towards. Therefore, it's going to have a different impact on your nervous system, if that makes sense. And so I want to move on then to number 4, how to move your mindset without the toxic positivity, because that's nauseating stuff, isn't it? We're not doing the good vibes only stuff, okay? I want to do accurate vibes with solutions. So here's a few shifts to have a go at, okay? Instead of everything sucks, what if we shift that to I'm overwhelmed? So what's the smallest step that's going to bring me relief? Or nothing ever works for me. Okay, well, hang on. One variable just isn't right yet. So what can I adjust? Where can I pivot? People drain me. I'm sick of people. Not everyone is my people. And I choose where I'm going to plug my energy into. So do you see how it's by reframing those things, like saying, you know what, people drain me. Let's get real about that. Not everyone is my people. So I can choose where I'm going to plug my energy into and what energy I'm going to receive as well. Puts you in control. So you're not pretending anymore with these reframes. What you're doing is you're reframing with some clarity about what you're seeing and what you're doing. So you've got solutions to it instead. Yeah. So let's look at a practical kind of reset. In 60 seconds, you can reset. When negativity hits, I want you to ask yourself, okay, what am I actually feeling? Name it. If you name it, you can regulate it. The second thing is, what's the real trigger that's underneath it? Not the surface shit that you're complaining about. What's the deeper thing underneath it? What's really going on? Number 3 then is, what need is unmet? What am I not meeting? Is it boundaries? Is it rest? Do I need support? Is it validation? What is it? And then what's one action that moves me forward? And this will shift your state. If you shift the state, you shift the outcome. That's it. And that takes a minute, 60 seconds. And doing that, taking that 1 minute, can prevent a 6-hour cortisol hangover when we choose to complain and vent and emotional dump and keep running through that cycle. Instead, let's practice empowering ourselves in 1 minute. You do that enough times, we're going to retrain our brain. I say retrain because protecting your energy is a skill. You must practice it. You don't need to be positive all the time. That's not what I'm suggesting. You don't need to pretend. You don't need to suppress anything either. You just need to direct your emotional energy where it matters. Be intentional with it. Your brain listens to what you feed it. Your nervous system reflects what you're sitting in, your environment. And your mindset follows your habits, not your hope. So protecting your energy, it's not selfish. It's leadership. It's empowering self-leadership. It's self-respect. It's mental hygiene. And it's the difference between burnout and breakthrough. So let me know how this works out for you. I'd love to hear some feedback on some of these quick steps and that 1 minute reset. And I look forward to catching up with you in the next session. Talk to you then. Bye.